Hello, this is Dario. Welcome to my channel, Motley Reads. It's still Sunday evening here, as you can see from my post-run Sunday evening outfit. I'm publishing this video on Tuesday because the Tuesday is the Tag Tuesday. That's one reason. The second reason is I'm traveling. On Tuesday. I'm in Germany, and I cannot carry all the books that I want to show here. So I'm doing this here right now on a Sunday evening. This tag is the history reading challenge tag that is originally created by Ghost Reader, and I was tagged by Mark Richardson over at Richardson Reads. Thank you very much, Mark, for tagging me. So this tag has 10 questions. Let's start with them. First question here is, what first got you into history? History is something that I've been interested for a very, very long time, at least since I was 10, probably. I think, we were, are you 10 when you are only in the fifth grade? I was in the fifth grade in the school, I think 10 or 11 or something like that. In fifth grade we started with history, and that was the most fantastic thing I ever seen. When we started with the Stone Age and the Athens and Rome and ancient Egypt. That was fantastic, but we skipped. I was studying in former Yugoslavia, so we skipped through that period very, very fast, and actually was moving very, very fast until French Revolution. And then in French Revolution, because it starts with this Paris Commune, and then moving over into French Revolution. That's I lived in a communist country, and this obviously these events here, when you actually turning monarchy into republic and giving power to the people, that's kind of quite interesting in the communist ideology. So we obviously spent a lot of time there. So it was basically through school that I came into history, and since then I've been reading a lot history. I'm usually getting into different periods, so I'm kind of for 6 months or a year or 2 years, very much into a certain period, and then I'm moving into some other period. And I could revisit periods also, go back and forward, and I really love learning very much. And also what is very good, I'm reading several languages, so you can read history, local history of Balkans in local languages, and local history of Scandinavia, local languages, and everything in English, and then also you can see how things are written from different perspectives, which is quite interesting. And it also allows me to study the primary sources, and I really love primary sources very much in original languages as much as possible. So that's I got into this through school. Question number 2: what is your favorite history book or author? Now this is pretty difficult question. I don't really have some favorite author. When it comes to books, it changes over time. Right now, when I think of this question, right now I'm thinking of primarily, actually, this one, The Rise and Fall of Ancient Egypt by Toby Wilkinson. It is a very good overview over Egyptian history. It's a chunkster. It's a thick volume of 500 pages in this particular edition, but it goes very, very fast to read, and it covers the whole Egyptian history. It's starts from the Old Kingdom or pre-Old Kingdom until age of Cleopatra, and when the empire falls, really. So this is one that book that I would see as my favorite, and another one that I often return to as a resource is this one, The Human Past: World Prehistory and the Development of Human Societies by Chris Skerr. and this is a textbook from an archaeology class I took a number of years ago, and it is written as a textbook I've written, but it's a really fantastic resource. I'm going back to. I enjoyed it when I read it. I read it every single word in it. It was completely absorbing. This text is very accessible, and the illustrations are fantastic, and it's really great resource. So this one, The Human Past, is very good. So yeah, so that's that. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in later. It's very floppy, these textbooks. Okay, number 3. What is your most anticipated history book you have not read yet? Now, they are not new editions, but I have 2 books that are on my TBR that I'm really looking forward to reading. Now, when I'm going to read them, it's a question because I'm getting involved into something here during the fall. Actually, I will be attending a history class at the university here in Sweden, hopefully, if my work allows me, because I have much to do on work as well. But that would mean that my reading will be very much about what we have in this history class. But to the extent I have some spare time, weekends and evenings, I will try to read these 2 that are my TBR. The first one is The Templars, here in the Swedish edition. Templars by Piers Paul Reed. I bought this summer. Got inspired by reading Foucault's Pendulum by Umberto Eco. So I bought this book, and I heard also from Jason, our expert here on BookTube, the king of crusades on the BookTube, that this is a really good one. So I'm looking forward to this. Crusades is an area that I don't know a lot about, and especially Templars I know nothing about. It sounds very fascinating. So this is what I want to read. And then I found at a used bookshop just a couple of weeks ago this collection of 4 volumes that I was looking for a long time. This particular setup is the Fall of the Roman Empire by Edward Gibbon. So I have there are 4 volumes in Swedish. Beautiful. So each of them, it looks a bit different. See, and this is this edition is by Forum Publishing House, Swedish Publishing House, and it is from 1966. And I've of course Gibbon is a classic resource when you study Roman history. I've read a lot about Roman history, but Gibbon, he's writings I didn't read, and so I acquired these. I'm really looking forward to reading this. So that would be my reply to this question. Number 4, what is your favorite time period and why? What book do you want to have read about it? My favorite is the ancient history, really, and ancient history of Europe. It's Greece and Rome. It is very wide. Starting with Mesopotamia, ancient Egypt, Greece, and Rome. This is quite wide period. I really love reading about that, and I've read quite a lot about it. So there is nothing particular that I would pull out. So that I have a quite good. This one is in Swedish. Look how beautiful this one, about antiquity, about basically these about Mesopotamia, Egypt, Greeks and Romans. Quite a nice book, and this is. I understand that it is used at the Swedish universities as on the on the classics, classics 101, as you say in US. The introduction course in classics as a textbook. So I really like this one. Another book that is quite interesting from that period of time that is giving quite a good summary is this one, 1177, the year civilization collapsed, 1177 BC, and this is written by Eric Klein, and he's a professor of classics at the George Washington University, and this edition is the Princeton edition. It is giving really a context of destruction of the classical world in that period of time, where basically it says that marauding group known only as the Sea Peoples invaded Egypt. The Pharaoh's army and navy defeated them, but the victory so weakened Egypt that it soon slid into decline, as did most of the surrounding civilizations. So, Minoans, Mysians, all the civilizations that are, in today's Lebanon and Israel and Middle East, everything just, crashed down. And there's lots of speculation about what it is. In the Sea Peoples are seen as a trigger event, but, there are lots of other things that were going on there, like the uprises and the natural disasters and lots of different things. So this book is giving quite lot on that context, and it's also explaining very well the political games that are going on in that period of time. So this is for that wide period of time that I was just mentioning as my favorite, this slim volume it gives you quite good insight, and it gives you quite good feel about that period. So yeah, all right. So let's move on. Number 6. What is your favorite person in history? What book do you want to have read about it? Here also, these favorite persons in history, they change over time. When I read this question, I thought about two guys. First one is Emperor Augustus, and he fantastic person. I read by a fiction by John Williams called Augustus. Very good book. It's definitely one of my favorite books of all time. Fantastic book. Then also he's portrayed in lots of Roman history books over here. What I would like to read more about him, I would like to read that there is, I think, his biography there of written by Adrian Goldsworthy. That one I would like to read, and of course, in this one, Suetonius' Life of Caesars, the part on all of them, but especially Augustus, I'm looking forward to reading. Another guy that I'm thinking of, as my favorite character is the Pharaoh Akhenaten, the revolutionary Pharaoh of Egypt, and he is widely seen as the first significant person in history who introduced monotheistic religion. So in ancient Egypt, in the whole complex of deities, he changed the religion of Egypt in the period of time that when he was ruling, and he decided that there is only one God, and that's a solar disk that is called Aten. So then everybody should be cherishing Aten, and everything else should be dismounted, and in order to be able to to forget all about that, about the history, we change, we move our residence into a new city. So he built up a new capital of Egypt, and in the site that is called Amarna today. He ruled for a relatively short period of time. He's coming from a long tradition of of warrior pharaohs, like guys like Tutmosis the second, and Amenhotep the third. So he himself, he had the title Amenhotep the fourth, but he changed it into Akhenaten, and Aten is coming, from the solar disk. So and his wife Nefertiti is also very well known in history, and his son Tutankhamun took over after him, and then tragically died under unclear circumstances, and then the dynasty turned into more being a warrior dynasty, going back to the old system of deities and so on. And when it comes to Akhenaten, I would really like to read more about him. I read there are two books I'm having here which were very, very interesting on that topic. It's Amarna Sunrise, Egypt from Golden Age to Age of Heresy, and Amarna Sunset, Nefertiti, Tutankhamun, Horemheb, and the Egyptian Counter-Reformation. And these are, scholarly books. They are published by the American University in Cairo Press, written by Aidan Dodson at University of Bristol, Egyptologist. And he is Dodson is using lots of the inscriptions, hieroglyphs. He's studying hieroglyphs for that period of time in tombs and different monuments, stelas, trying to figure out what happened during that period of time. And I would really like to see more about Akhenaten. I've also visited the Egyptian Museum and Papyrus Collection in Berlin, where they have a great collection about Egypt, and they are focusing very much about that particular period when he was ruling, and it's a lot of interesting stuff from Amarna period, and the head of Nefertiti is also in Berlin. And if we haven't visited the museum in Berlin, the Egyptian museum, which is called the Neues Museum. So I can really recommend a visit. It's fantastic. Another museum that has a lots of stuff from Egypt, and also particularly from Amarna period. It's a museum in London, the Petrie Museum of Egyptian Archaeology at University College London. It's really perfect place. Of course, you can visit British Museum and for wide collection, but if you want to have more specialized collection, so Petrie Museum and Neues Museum are really nice. I also heard that Turin is good. Next time I'm in Turin, I will definitely pay it a visit. So that's number 6. Number 7, what history topic would you like to see more fiction and non-fiction books about? Well, I don't know about fiction. Definitely non-fiction. What I would like to read more about is about prehistory of Europe. That is not about Egypt and Rome. That is about other areas, about the Nordics, about the Central Europe. It is just too little about. I have a couple of books here. One that I can mention here. This one is a pretty good one. Europe before Rome, a side-by-side tour of the Stone, Bronze, and Iron Ages, and here you have a different excavation places where they like this one, for instance, Passo di Corvo in Italy, 6000 BC, and they are going through these different sites and unfolding the prehistory of Europe. So I would definitely like to read more about that. There is another one which is published by National Museum of Denmark, about Danish prehistory, and Danish prehistory, especially Danish Bronze Age, which we're talking about, about 1700 to 500 BC. Extremely rich in remnants from that period of time, and since many of the artifacts were deposited in bogs, so they've been preserved very, very well. And if you visit the museum in Copenhagen, it's just amazing. It's breathtaking what you can find there. So definitely, the prehistory of Europe that is not Rome and Greece, definitely more about that non-fiction, but certainly fiction as well would be really welcome. Okay, number 8. What non-book resources do you enjoy when learning about history? Obviously, as you can see, I'm doing lots of museum visits. Every single moment I have a free when I'm traveling, and I'm traveling a lot in my work. I'm going to a museum and just looking for what museums are here. If there are any cathedrals, if there are any cemeteries, if there's anything to visit, I'm going there. I like to do that. There are some places I'm revisiting continuously. British Museum, for instance, I've been dozens and dozens of times there, and then I'm visiting, especially focusing in the certain areas of a museum. So I really, really like museums. I also like archaeological excavation sites to visit, and obviously documentaries on television and on YouTube. I also like some pods. There is one particular pod that I'm listening quite a lot to. It's called In Our Time. It's a podcast by BBC with Melvin Bragg as a host. And what they are doing, they are inviting academics from different universities that are talking about specific themes. When they're talking about Plato's Republic, they are talking about the Crusades in Balticum, they are talking about specific themes for an hour, and then they are getting deep into each of these subjects. And if you can go in your iPhone, if you have an iPhone, among your podcasts, look for In Our Time, and it's just fantastic. It's amazing. So there are lots of things to learn that way. Number 9, favorite history quote and fun facts. I'm not very big on quotes. There is one particular quote that I'm returning to time after time, and it's a quote by Socrates, and in English it goes like this: "I'm the wisest man alive, for I know one thing, and that is that I know nothing." And this is really, for me, pinpointing the insight. The older you get and the more you know about things, you realize that for every new thing you discover, you're going to open up a universe of complexity and information, and you realize very, very fast that whatever you look at, you know very little about it. And when you have that approach to life, that you really don't know very much about things. You get humble, and you are motivated actually to explore. And this is really a really nice quote. I like that one. And then finally, number 10, Shoutout, a booktuber you enjoy who also reads history. Now on BookTube, it is mostly fiction readers. At least the ones that I'm following, the ones that are more into history, like Peg of History Bookshelf, or Jason Byvis and Bookland, Steve Donahue, and so on. These guys are already tagged multiple times. So I wouldn't know. The one that I didn't see, that I enjoy watching, and that didn't see has been tagged in this is Doris of all the books. I would like to see Doris doing this, and I know that she's reading quite diversely. And another one that is reading diversely, I didn't see him tagged, is Mark Nash. If Doris and Mark would like to do this tag, I would be delighted to watch it. So yeah, I hope you like my answers to the tag. I hopefully give you some food for thought, possibly some good ideas on the books that you could read. If you want to comment, please do so. It's always fun to engage in a conversation. Until then, thank you for watching.